Have you ever been afraid that people working around you would be afraid to criticise you?
I've never actually thought of it, to tell you the truth, till people started to point it out. That with the reputation I've got of having kind of done a lot, that anyone who hasn't quite done as much will be a bit, oh my God, I'm not going to tell him, you tell him. It's rubbish. You know, I think there's a bit of that happens, but I'm pretty aware of that.
Is there someone in your immediate circle who you play stuff to and say, what do you think?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of people really, yeah.
And do they say, well, don't like it, ever?
Well, you know, that's the danger. That's the thing. I mean...
it must be very hard for you.
It is difficult.
Very difficult.
I say, you know, I mean, obviously, when you played stuff to people, when you were at the height of the Beatles, it was fairly difficult for them to tell you it wasn't any good, you know. It's not a new thing. So I normally would kind of say to people, no, go on, I encourage you to tell me if it's rubbish, you know. I'd set that as like a condition.
Trick him into it.
Well, there's no problem with that with Elvis. He's going to tell you.
He stood up to you, did he? He stood up to you?
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, it's not as if he's got to stand up to me, because I'm not trying to put anyone down, but it's just the reputation I've got that kind of walks ahead of me a bit and spoils things, really, you know. But, I mean, listen, I mean, who's complaining? I'm not. You know, I'm glad that I've done as much, and if it does intimidate people, well, I just got to put them at their ease. So, you know, there's a way around it. And as I say, with Elvis, with young Declan, you're not going to have too much shyness there, that's one thing. He's not shy, you know. He's definitely got a very opinionated attitude, you know. But I say, in this context, it's great. It's really interesting.
Would you like to work with him again?
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's 4 songs that have appeared on the album, which leaves 5 that we haven't done, so we've got some unfinished work anyway. We've written them all, but we haven't, like, recorded them and stuff.
How many tracks on the album are co-written with him?
There's 4 tracks on the album. The album's called Flowers in the Dirt, and that is called Flowers in the Dirt because of... It's a line from one of the lyrics. One of the songs is called That Day Is Done, and one of the lines says, she sprinkles flowers in the dirt. So it's nice that it's one of the lyrics, so it kind of makes sense, almost. And you don't want to make too much sense, do you? But it feels nice because it's the 2 things, sort of flowers that are kind of pretty and dirt that isn't. And it's somehow, I don't know, it reminds me of a sort of ecological thing. I don't know really. Sounds all right. Anyway, that one was co-written with Elvis. The single, which is called My Brave Face, was co-written with him. And that's kind of very Beatle-y.
I'm glad you said it.
Yeah. With the thing is, see, I always resist writing Beatle-y stuff because I always think, no, we've been there, you know, and I did that, and it's now the 80s, nearly the 90s, you know. But in fact, people like Elvis and sort of guys like that who like a lot of that stuff always say to me, oh, you know, now get out the old Hofner bass and let's do it. And they've got a kind of unashamed pleasure in it all. It's not like, oh, no, we've done that. So, let's do it again. You know, you go, oh, all right. And that was kind of how it all happened. He said, whoa, you know, I said, it's a bit Beatle-y. He said, yeah, well. So we didn't really worry about that. So that track and another track called You Want Her Too on the album, which is very kind of Beatle-y.